Hello. Welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. I'm Ranch. Tonight I'm going to give you Capper comparison picks for some more prelim fights for UFC London 2. Be sure to check out the video I did on Monday night where I did cover 4 other fights. One of them might not be prelim fight, the Mason Jones fight, but I threw it in there anyway because that was the original order. It was late notice. But anyway, check out the video I did Monday where I covered 4 fights. And I'm covering 4 more, and these ones are, to the best of my knowledge, all prelim fights still. And actually, I think this is the last prelim fight before the main card. As far as I know. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But without further ado, let's get into this because 4 fights, 10 minutes a piece. That's rough, you know. I want to keep this around 40 minutes, so let's get underway. Starting off this show, we have the flyweight fight between the Punisher, Mokaev, taking on Energy, Charles Johnson. Now this is a huge line. Mokaev is a minus 500, undefeated, 6-0 as a pro. He's like 23-0 as an amateur. Oddly enough, though, Tapology does have a little disclaimer saying something about potentially padded win or something. And I don't know. I really don't know what that means because I was looking. I was like, what are they talking about? So it could be 22-0. Maybe one of those was just thrown in there as a padded win. I don't know. Check it out for yourself on Tapology. Little triangle. It says something like disclaimer or something. It says record could potentially be padded. But nonetheless, this dude's the real deal. The Punisher. You know, Muhammad Mokaev. He is Dagestani as a birth, but he's a refugee, fled that area of the world, Russia, if you will, when he was young, and he was pretty much raised and grew up in England. But he did bring over his little bit of Dagestani background. I think he started getting into mixed martial arts around the age, I want to say around age 15. But before that, when he was back in Russia, he did have a few years of Dagestani wrestling training as even a preteen, in the early teens. So Punisher, now he's training out of American Top Team, interesting enough. So danger. But he's taking on Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson, former LFA flyweight champ. He defended it twice. So former defending LFA champion. He relinquished his title, but not by a loss. He just, moved on to better things, such as the UFC. This is his UFC debut for Charles Johnson. These guys have some sort of beef going on. I don't know who started it, but it happened on Twitter. And Mokaev, he showed a picture of, he was like in the back seat of a vehicle, and he showed like an AK-47, and it said something like "See you in London." What is that about? That's not cool. But Charles Johnson, being the Energy, the OG gangster that he is, he's from St. Louis. He don't play that. You're not gonna threaten with any gunplay to Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson, I watched on his Instagram. He's got took a picture of Elmer Fudd and face swapped Elmer Fudd's face with Mokaev's face. He's got a couple other funny things in there too. And he went to he's been training out of Murcielago with Jaquin Buckley. And remember that guy that was it cage side with Jaquin Buckley? One of those. He was cage side with one of those Murcielago guys. He's like a Detroit combat, defensive combat. He's like a super cop. And anyway, Charles Johnson's Instagram, he went to this guy. Man, I should have wrote down his name or something. Went to this guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, I heard there's some little Russian dude running around with a gun talking smack about you." So he said something like that. He's like, yeah. Charles Johnson's like cool about it. He's like, Yeah, he's pretty much talking all this, running his jaw and all that. So the super cop there from Detroit, he showed him how to like defend from like he brought out like it might have been an AK or something. He brought out this machine gun type looking gun. He's like, what you do is here, you hold it, and then he's like, hold it. He's like, because of the long barrel, you just push it to the side and hit him with the butt of the gun. His own gun. It's like, I don't know. Check it out. It's weird. But anyway, Charles Johnson, I think he's kind of having fun with the whole young ass Mokaev making a Twitter post with him holding the AK-47, which is a mistake. Shouldn't have done that, but he doesn't know he's young. He's only 21 years old. Even though he's got, fight experience and skill as, much older person. Johnson is 31, 10 years older, but 31 is not, that's his prime. He's in his prime there. I know it's flyweight, so after 30, you got to be a little edgy, but Johnson, 11-2, training at Murcielago, will have the slight 2-inch height advantage, 1.5-inch reach, or no, just a half-inch reach. Same reach, but he will have a 2-inch height advantage. Let's talk about these guys' last 5, and then we'll get into the capper things. The thing with the whole gun thing, I think it stemmed off. I think Johnson might have had like a Twitter comment where he said something like Mokaev training with like a clown school, or so he called like a lot of his former. This is before his move to ATT. Called a lot of his former gym like a bunch of clowns or something. It's something to that effect. I don't know exactly because I didn't check out the Twitter, but on Instagram though, you look up Charles Johnson's Instagram. In the comments, some supporter of Mokaev, big Dagestani supporter, says, "How dare you call Dagestani wrestlers clowns? I hope Mokaev takes your head off." He very well could. Mokaev is the real deal, but Johnson he's live. Don't give Johnson full due respect. A defending LFA flyweight champion with 11-2 record. Mokaev's only 6-0 as a pro. His amateur record, amateur. And yes, 23-0, but you know what? I was looking through there. He fought one guy, probably was one of his best opponents. He fought him 3 times, beat him his name was Ryo Nakashimi or some I didn't write it down or anything. I did. I didn't write it down, but it's Ryo Yamaguchi, because the dude I think is Blackanese. He's like black Japanese, because he's got like dreadlocked hair, but his last name's Yamaguchi. I think his father might be Japanese, his mother might be African American or something. I don't know. Ryo Yamaguchi, check him out. But anyway, because I was like looking for Mokaev's former opponents. I'm like, this kid's never seen a loss in his entire life. 23-0 as an amateur, 6-0 as a pro. Real deal. But minus 500, that should realistically maybe minus 250, I think. I don't think that line is given Charles Johnson. Oh, good job, baby. I don't think they're giving Charles Johnson his due respect as a 2-time defending LFA champion. So, the last 5. Mokaev, he's coming off a win against Cody Durden, guillotine round 1. That was his UFC debut. Before that, he was in Brave FC, where he got a rear naked choke over Brian O'Driscoll. He is not flawless because he does have a no contest against Ibrahim Navruzov by a legal groin kick in round 1. That happened in Brave FC. Before that, Abdul Hussein. And aside from that, really lackluster cans, to be honest with you. Check out his topology. It's not, hadn't shown a high caliber of opponents. This is going to be a real test for this young gentleman. And as I mentioned, his flawless amateur record, 23-0. remember, it is amateurs, and if maybe Pat, he did fight this one guy, that Yamaguchi guy, 3 times. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of, I just don't think he's deserving of a minus 500 over Charles Johnson. But nonetheless, let's write down all these cappers that are taking him because, yeah, he is minus 500, big favorite. So, let's see. We've got the MMA Guru. He's the one from the UK, of course, taking his home team. He's saying submission round 3 for Mokaev. Mokaev does have that Dagestani wrestling. Johnson, though, is got a very good quick get-up game. He'll let you take you down, but he'll pop right back up, too. And Johnson will be, he's not afraid. He'll bring it. He'll bring it. He'll come at him. Just saying. Then we got Johnny K picks. Johnny K also taking Mokaev. Makes sense. I don't see why you wouldn't. James Lynch, interviewer extraordinaire, best interviewer in the biz. What's going on? Bleed MMA. I love Bleed. Bleed tells it how it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He'll say someone sucks if they suck. He'll say someone's great if they're great. And in this case, he thinks Mokaev is great. And Leighton from UFC Gambling Addicts. What's up, my homies? Smoke break. You know Leighton. That's money. That's money. I can't do his accent. Can't do the British accent. I'm horrible with it. So this is a full capper consensus. Nora, why don't you come and tell the camera, look at the camera, tell them what a full capper consensus is.
A full capper consensus is when all the handicappers pick one side of the whiteboard.
And in this case, they're all picking Mohamed Mokaev, of course, minus 500 favorite. Why wouldn't you? And I can't not either. I'm gonna definitely go. But I'm not betting him. I'm picking him on Tapology, and I think he should get the win. However, just cause plus money, plus 375, I am gonna throw a little scratch-off ticket. That's what me and Dave like to call it, just a scratch-off ticket. Throw a quick $10 just so on Charles Johnson, because the whole gun thing. I don't like that. I don't like that. Mokaev posed with an AK-47 and said, "See you in London." What do you mean? What does that mean? What are you implying, Mokaev? I know he doesn't know. You don't do that in America, especially OGs from St. Louis. You don't do that to You don't do that to OGs from St. Louis or any big city. You don't flash a gun. You don't show a gun and say "See you in London." That's just cringy. I don't like that. But he should, by all right, he should win. He's definitely a better wrestler. Striking though, I don't know. Johnson Johnson does have a Golden Gloves. He was a boxer, but I guess his record, he had a professional boxing career, but his record was like, I don't know, 1-4, I heard, something like that. 1-5, I can't remember exactly, but the Fight Night Picks guys, they explained it. He does have a lackluster boxing career, but nonetheless, he was a Golden Gloves boxer as well, so he does know how to strike. And he's carried that over, obviously, to LFA, because he defended his title. He defended his belt twice, 2 times. He won it and then defended it 2 times after that. So that's why I'm going to throw a little hedge bet, little scratch-off ticket on Charles Johnson. But Mokaev should win, and he should win by, let me see here. Guillotine, rear naked choke, decision. We're going to say by submission. I think he's going to catch him with something. That's going to be my Tapology pick. And when's that going to happen? Probably round 2. But I will hedge bet, and I will be rooting for Charles Johnson. And Mokaev's not making any parlays except for this one, because I did tell you, and I'm a man of my word, every capper comparison video that I do, I parlay all my picks. Usually I do 3 fights, but in this case, and Monday, I'm doing 4. So that means they're 4-leg parlays. but this card is super chalky. It's like Bellator odds for real. So it's super chalky odds. But as you can see, come on, look at that, really? This one's kind of close, but anyway, super chalky odds. You have to parlay just to get the value, just to get the plus money for all my plus money junkies. Round 2. I'm taking Mokaev by submission in round 2, but I'm going to hedge bet Charles Johnson. Moving on. Next we have Mr. Finland, Makwan, Amirkhani. Amirkhani is taking on Jonathan Pearce, JSP. Jonathan Pearce is the almost 2-to-1 favorite. He was at one time 2-to-1 favorite. Opened up around minus 225. Now he's at minus 193, meaning money's been coming in on Makwan, Amirkhani. Makwan, Mr. Finland, opened up at plus 185. Now he's at plus 168 with a 17-7 record. He was at one time training out of SBG Ireland. Now since he has opened up his own gym called what's it called? I wrote it down. MA Training Center. That's in Finland. He has like some, his head coach there, he's the owner and main operator. I checked it out. I even went to his website. It's in Finnish, but you can hit the translate button, and it does have also in English. 65 bucks a month, not bad. Or pounds, 65 pounds a month, whatever Finnish money they use it. I know it's, or you can get, you pay for a whole year for like, I think a year was $600 for a year. But anyway, he's got, it's pretty cool, and he's got all ages. He's got little kids all the way up to seniors, all these gray-haired seniors, right down to little kids and everybody in between for Makwan Amirkhani's school. And he's got, my hair's not fully gray, just got a couple. But he's got the, it's legit. It's because it's 90 degrees outside and the dryer's on. That's why I'm sweating. But anyway, let's talk about the favorite, Jonathan Pearce. Jonathan Pearce fighting out of Fight Ready. You gotta love that spot. Coach Eddie Chaz training him on Instagram. Also, you know he's training with Kamwela Kirk. Kamwela Kirk beat Makwan Amirkhani 1, 2, 3 fights ago for Makwan. But I'll get to that when I get to him. Jonathan Pearce, he's coming off 3 wins over, he beat Christian Rodriguez. He beat Omar Morales, rear naked choke round 2. That was a good, very good win. And he beat Kai Kamaka III, ground and pound round 2. Kai Kamaka now in a lesser promotion, but doing very well. I think it's Bellator. I think he's in Bellator doing well. And that was all after his UFC debut loss to Joe Lauzon. Joe Lauzon said, "Welcome to the UFC. Here's a ground and pound round 1 defeat for you. Welcome to the UFC, kid." Before that, he was in the Contender Series where he beat this guy named Jacob Rosales, KO round 3. So Jonathan Pearce, after that fight with Lauzon, flipped the script and just went on a nice little 3-fight win streak. And he does have a 2-inch height advantage over Makwan Amirkhani. Okay, Mr. Finland, he's coming off that win against Mike Grundy, but it was kind of like, it was Mike Grundy, his dad was in the audience. It was in London back in March, UFC London 1, where Mike Grundy, it was all like, his dad was real sick. I don't know if it's cancer or something. His dad was like deathbed sick, but his dad was there to watch it. And Mike Grundy just came, he was pumped, hyped up, and he was very aggressive. And when he did, he went in for a double leg takedown, and Amirkhani just caught him in a guillotine, choked him out. Anaconda, actually. Caught him in an anaconda, got him in like 1 minute. Only because he came in headstrong without, he wasn't thinking. Mike Grundy had a poor game plan. He was just being very aggressive. He wanted to win so bad in front of his dad. Went in for a takedown and leaving his neck exposed. Well, doesn't matter. Amirkhani won that. But before that, 3 losses in a row. He lost to Lerone Murphy, a knee in round 2. Kamwela Kirk, he lost to him. That's Jonathan Pearce's main training partner over at Fight Ready. Kamwela, the Jawaian. He beat him by Kamwela Kirk beat Amirkhani by unanimous decision. Before that, he lost to Edson Barboza. That's not, Edson Barboza's a good fighter. And prior to that, he did beat Danny Henry Anaconda round 1. That obviously Anaconda seems to be his go-to submission when he's in trouble. And so yeah, he's 2-3 in his last 5. He does have a half-inch reach advantage, which is nothing. They got the same reach pretty much. So JSP coming as a favorite. Let's see what the cappers have to say in this interesting fight between Makwan, Mr. Finland, and Jonathan Pearce, JSP. So, taking the favorite in Jonathan Pearce, we've got, what's going on? Bleed MMA is on the side of Jonathan Pearce. Then we've, your hand's cold. Were you in the freezer? Then we've got Leighton, UFC Gambling Addicts, is on the side of Makwan and Amirkhani. Then we've got James Lynch taking JSP, Jonathan Pearce. Johnny K picks. Johnny K is saying Amirkhani by submission. Recency bias. I'm just kidding, I don't know. But he's taking him by submission. Probably Anaconda choke, I would imagine. But finally for the tiebreaker, we've got the MMA guru, the beanie guru. And he is on the side of Makwan Amirkhani. Iranian, relocated to Finland, loving life as one of the finish, and he thinks he's going to get a finish by way of submission over JSP Jonathan Pearce, edging out the capper majority on that pick. Underdog capper majority, but I'm not buying it. I'm going to go with Jonathan Pearce. You know what's tipped me to his side? The whole thing of him training the full camp with Kamwela Kirk, who already has a recipe on how to beat Makwan because he's already done it. And he's done it recently. He did it 3 fights ago. So he knows what to look for. He gave Pearce the recipe. Pearce has been training in camp, using the smart fight IQ. And Pearce is not a bad wrestler himself. His stand-up's good. He's very well-rounded. I like Pearce to get the win here. I know he's a minus 193, but it is what it is. I think Pearce is going to win a decision here over Makwan, Mr. Finland, Amirkhani. Iranian-born finish. Or Iranian-born finish. Fled Iran. Him and his whole family fled Iran when he was just a wee little kid. Now look at him. Now he's got his own training facility, which is legit. He's got like the Finnish military commander something. Check out his Instagram. The guy's name, I even wrote it down. Riku Imonen looks legit. Looks kind of scary, but he's the head coach over there. Him and Makwan, and it's funny because the pads on the wall in big letters, Makwan Amirkhani, love and life. They still very just like his Tapology picture with the girls, very arrogant. Shows that arrogance, but if you read into it, it's not really arrogance. He's a cool dude. He's Makwan. I like him. Moving on. Next we have the prospects. Not a prospect anymore. You got to do 28. Oh, by the way, Makwan and Jonathan Pearce both in the, Makwan's 33. Jonathan Pearce is 30. I don't know if that's any bearing on your decision, but Pearce does have a slight age advantage. Okay, now the prospect Nathaniel Wood. Not really a prospect because he is 28. I think he should have hung that name up 3 years ago. Taking on Charles Rosa, Boston strong. Charles Rosa, 35. He should have probably hung up his gloves 2 years ago. No, I'm not saying that. Rosa's still got some fight in him. But let's see. Nathaniel Wood's a minus 600 favorite, which disgusting. Disgusting. That's what I said. 17-5 for the Brit native. He's fighting in his backyard. Native Brit Nathaniel Wood, minus 600. And Charles Rosa, plus 450. Training out of ATT. But Instagram, you couldn't tell because it doesn't have the training videos. Shows he hasn't like updated really, and he shows like the poster of him and Nathaniel Wood poster. But if you go deeper, he shows like him and his girl going to events, going to parties, dressed all nice and everything. He does have his own gym now. I'm hoping he was at ATT for the camp, Charles Rosa, but he does have a gym. I think it's called Combat Systems or something. So, Mr. Businessman, Charles Rosa, plus 450 underdog. All right, let's talk about the favorite first of Nathaniel Wood, the prospect. Nathaniel Wood, training out of Great Britain top team. Training, I think he's training with, I saw pictures with Marc Diakiese. Marc Diakiese, also, obviously, I'm going to cover that fight next. But Nathaniel Wood's coming off a loss, actually, to Casey Kenny. I think he's had a little bit of a layoff, too. I want to say almost close to 2 years or something since that fight. Before that, he beat John Castaneda. He lost to John Dobson. That one sticks out to me because John Dobson's not like elite. He's not top tier. That one kind of sticks out to me. He did beat Jose Alberto Quinones, rear naked choke round 2. And he beat Andre Ewell, which is good, rear naked choke round 3. But that John Dodson took him out TKO round 3. So that loss there kind of shines when I look at the last 5 at minus 600. I can understand if he was his last 5 he was straight undefeated, but he's got not that. He's got 2 losses. He lost to Casey Kenny as well, which Casey Kenny you can't take much from that loss because Casey Kenny's pretty darn good. But John Dodson, really, I mean, I don't know. Interesting. But Charles Rosa, he's coming off a loss to TJ Brown, back-to-back losses. He lost to Damon Jackson before that, both unanimous decisions. And prior to that, he was win-loss type of pattern fighter. Through, like, I want to say, goes 6 to 8 fights deep, and it's win-loss. I just wrote down the last 5. But most recently, back-to-back losses. So you imagine if you want to play the pattern, she's due for a win greatly. But before Damon Jackson's loss, he did beat Guitar Hero Justin James by split decision. That's where Justin James bet his whole purse on himself. So I think, Justin James should have won that fight. I think the judges heard that he bet his whole purse, and just to spite him, just to make him a big loser, they gave the split decision victory to Charles Rosa. It broke my heart. I'm sure it broke his too. He put his whole purse on himself, and he shouldn't have announced it. He should have just did it. He might have won. I think that played a part, because I remember watching that fight and I had money on Justin James because he had money on himself, and I'm like, there's no way he's gonna lose this. And I think the decision should have went to him. Charles Rosa got it via robbery decision, whatever. Before that, Charles Rosa lost to Derek Minner, which unanimous decision. And before that, another split decision win against Kevin Aguilar. So all decisions in his last 5, and the ones that he won were split decisions. So they weren't even unanimous. So it's like, and that, like I said, the Justin James one, did he really win? Did he? I don't know. So let's see what the cappers have to say. minus 600. That is off. That's off. I don't care who you are. Nathaniel Wood lost John Dobson. He's coming off a loss to Casey Kenny. I understand Charles Rosa, Boston Strong, is also not the greatest, but minus 600, Christ. Minus 600 value. That's like a betting thing, or you won't get it. You can't figure it out. But
Is value money?
Value is money. And there's no value betting on Nathaniel Wood at minus 600.
Minus 600 money?
Yeah, you have to put $600 to win 100 if you bet Nathaniel Wood. But on the other hand, if you bet Charles Rosa, you put $100 and you can win 450 plus money. But I don't think he's gonna win, so I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, let's throw these names up here for Nathaniel Wood. You already know how it's gonna be. We've got James Lynch saying Wood by decision. Then we've got the Guru TKO round 2, taking his local guy, hometown guy. Guru is I think he's Welsh. He's definitely in the UK somewhere. And then we've got James Lynch. I already said that. I already said James Lynch. What am I doing? Come on. Get with the program, Ranj. We got UFC celebrities, or no, gambling addicts. That's Leighton. Also out of the UK. Taking his home team, home side, once again. We've got Lead taking Nathaniel Wood, of course, and finally Johnny K to cap it all off, making this yet another full capper consensus. I don't even think you want to do the dance, you can do the dance. It's not necessary though, because he's a minus 600 favorite. So of course everybody's going to take him. You'd be risking your reputation to take Rosa on here. But if you did take Rosa and he ends up winning, you're going to look like a genius. But no one's ballsy enough to do that on Charles Boston Strong Rosa. Especially look at his last 5 he's won. He's 2 and 3 in his last 5, and those 2 wins by split decision. Not a good look. So obviously, I'm also on the side of Nathaniel Wood. It's like this card is they're catering to the UK fighters. You can make a parlay. I did it already. I made a parlay with all the fighters out of the United Kingdom. I think my parlay was 8 fighters deep. All the fighters out of the United Kingdom. And look they're all chalky. They're all chalky. Wood, those guys are not. That's Finland and the US, of course. Mokaev, chalky. Throw in Paddy Pimblett, throw in Molly McCann, throw in, who else was on there's like 8, I think, 8 fighters, all chalky Brits. Like it's just cringy. It's cringy. You got to find the one underdog though. It's gonna upset and shit on all those parlays. Just like last time. What was it like? Who's the girl in London? The first girl. She was British and she lost. Oh man, it's right at the tip of my tongue. I can picture her. I just can't think of her name. But anyway, it's kind of like they want London to be in a big glorious party after. That's why they're feeding them. You can't find a better fighter for Nathaniel Wood than Charles Rosa, really? I mean, this is a test. This is a test for Mokaev, and low key, I want Charles Johnson to win that. But but I'm just saying this. Obviously, I'm gonna go with Nathaniel Wood. I'm fading Charles Rosa, but they should have gave him somebody a little bet, like I don't know, Gregor Gillespie, or like Ilya Topuria. Give him somebody that's really a test. Not Charles Rosa. Come on, guys. Come on, UFC. We see what you're doing here. You want London to have a huge, full-out London parlay win. That's chalky. Oh, moving. Oh, how's Wood gonna win? I don't know. We're gonna say inside the distance. Probably. We're gonna say TKO. No, actually, Boston Strong. He is pretty durable. He's just not that good. It's just not that good. So we're gonna say decision.
Daddy.
What?
It's Charles Rosa and Charles Johnson. They
What?
have the same name.
Charles Rosa and who?
Charles Johnson.
Charles Johnson. Yeah, Charles and Charles. Charles in charge of nothing on this card. Okay, moving on. We have the lightweight fight between Bone Crusher, Marc Diakiese. Marc Diakiese. I didn't know this, but gay guy. But I just learned that from Bleed. I didn't know he was gay, but yeah, I guess, and he doesn't hide it. He likes other guys. So yeah, I guess he doesn't hide it or nothing. But interesting, odd. I caught me off guard with that. Taking on the Bosnian bomber, Damir Hadzovich. Damir Hadzovich is fighting out of Arte Suave with who else is on this card? What? Yeah, that's supercharged. Nicholas Dalby. Damir Hadzovich training with Nicholas Dalby. Marc Diakiese training with Nathaniel Wood out of Great Britain top team. So both of these fighters training with fighters that are also on this card. Wood for Diakiese, Nicholas Dalby for Hadzovich out of Arte Suave. The Bone Crusher comes in as a chalky -365 favorite. It opened up at -305. That means money's been coming in on him, despite already being chalky 3-to-1 odds. And Hadzovich was a +255. Now the bookies want to make him a little bit more attractive, boosted him up to a +300, 3-to-1 underdog. Bone Crusher Diakiese coming off a shocking surprise win against Slavaklaus Vyacheslav Borshev by unanimous decision. Yeah. But before that, though, this sticks out. Marc Diakiese had back-to-back losses. Lost to Rafael Alves, guillotine round 1. Not a good look. And before that, Rafael Fiziev, but Fiziev does beat the best of them. Fiziev is definitely top. I would rank him top 3. And that was unanimous decision. Prior to that, he beat Lando Venata, who groovy. Lando Venata's never really impressed me, not even from the get-go. And he beat Joe Duffy, who also no longer in the UFC. And those wins, all unanimous decision. He doesn't see Bone Crusher isn't crushing anybody. He doesn't seem to finish people. He will have the slight 1-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage that might come into play, taking on the Bosnian bomber Damir Hadzovich. Damir Hadzovich coming off a win against Yancy Medeiros. I suppose that's a mediocre win. That's a pretty good win. Nothing great, nothing to hang your hat on, but a win is a win. It's a win. Yeah. Before that, he got rear naked choked in 44 seconds of round 1 by Renato Moicano. Not a good look there for the Damir Hadzovich. And before that, he lost to Christos Giagos, unanimous decision. The Spartan, Christos Giagos, the Greek fighter, did take care of business there. And he does have a dice win over Polo Reyes, who's never impressed me. That was TKO round 2 for Hadzovich. And he had a split decision win over Nick Hein. And like I mentioned already, he's training out of Arte Suave with Nicholas Dalby out of Copenhagen, Denmark. So let's see what the cappers have to say in this chalky fight. I think you already know which way this is gonna go.
What does chalky mean?
Chalky means it's hard to swallow. Chalky means you're not. The odds are you're not gonna win money if you bet it. It's gonna cost you a lot more to win a lot less. Like Marc Diakiese, chalky odds. Nathaniel Wood's chalky odds. And Mokaev, chalky odds. Most of the British fighters, or most of the UK fighters on this card, chalky odds. Just, I don't know, UFC just planned it like that. I don't know. Catering to the Brits. Okay, Marc Diakiese, Bone Crusher, 15-5. Let's see, let's just write down these names. Lead is taking Diakiese. The Guru, did he say how? He did. He said by knockout for Diakiese. Johnny K is saying decision. At least now that you can play, I guess this might be a chalky cards like this might be where you have to take the over-unders, the violence, and over 2.5 rounds is -130. Bookies think it's going to even money if you think it's going to fall short of 2.5 rounds. So very hard to pick the over-unders in my opinion. I do not fare well at doing the over-unders like the totals. I don't know. I'm just not good at that. I'm better off picking the money line or parlays. I parlay this crap. So James Lynch, also by decision. And you know what? It makes sense. Like I mentioned, Diakiese, all his wins in his last 5 have all been by decision. His one loss to Fiziev was by decision, so he went to. But he got guillotine choked by Rafael Alves in round 1. So I think if he's going to win, which he should, it probably will be by decision. Who else? We got, Leighton, UFC Gambling Addicts, also on the side of Diakiese, making this another full Capper consensus, which is not surprising. I don't even like doing these shows where there's 3 full Capper consensuses. Isn't that ridiculous? Ridiculous. That is all that.
What if there was 4? That would be a lot.
But I did do the research, so I might as well put the info up there. Parlay these guys. That's the only way you're going to get a plus money. Parlay them or prop bet them, but picking the prop is going to be tough too, you know. So my pick is definitely going to be Marc Diakiese, and the sensible outcome will be by decision. Hadzovich, I'm nothing against him and everything. I kind of plus 300. I might do yeah, probably not. I'm pretty confident Diakiese. So to recap, time check. What is the time? How am I doing? Just over 43 minutes. So to recap, I've got Muhammad Mokaev getting a submission on Charles Johnson in round 2. However, I will be rooting for Johnson to win, and I will throw a scratch off $10 bet on Johnson. $10 would win me $37.50. Only I do that just because I don't want to root against my money. I'm going to have Mokaev in this parlay with Wood, Diakiese, and Pearce, all favorites. It'll probably barely be plus money, but it will be plus money if you do a 4-leg parlay. Then I have Jonathan Pearce winning by decision over Makwan Amirkhani. That will be a closer fight than most of these, but I'm pretty confident because I think Pearce training with Kamwela Kirk is a big deal. That's what definitely pushed me on that side of it. I was flip-flopping a little bit. I was making arguments for Amirkhani in the beginning, like, oh, he's anaconda choke, he can get that submission, pull it out. But I think Pearce is keen to that. I think he's got very good fight IQ, Pearce does. Like I said, after he got beat by Joe Lozano, he's been on a tear. I like JSP, Jonathan Pearce. And then I have Nathaniel Wood, the prospect. Change your name, Nathaniel Wood. Even the Fight Night Pick brothers want you to change it as well. I got him beating Charles Rosa, Boston Strong. Boston Strong has not really impressed me. He's only had 2 wins in his last 5. They were by split decision, and one of them to Justin James, of all people. He shouldn't have won that one. Justin James should have. So, yeah, Charles Rosa, I think he should just, stick with your combat systems, martial arts, or what, your new gym that you own. Be the owner of your gym. Be a businessman. You know, be like what are the gatekeeper. But Nathaniel Wood is not a prospect despite his nickname, so you don't have to be a gatekeeper, Nathaniel Wood. Be a gatekeeper at a lower level than Nathaniel Wood. But kudos for taking this fight though, Rosa. Going against minus 600, I think is the biggest on the entire card. And finally, I'm taking Marc Diakiese to beat Damir Hadzovich. Despite Hadžović does have a prayer, I might do the same thing I did down here. Only he's been training Nicholas Dalby. I see him on Instagram. He is putting it in. I can't read whatever country he's from. I can't read. What is he? Herzegovina. I can't read Bosnian, so I don't know what he's saying in his comments. But I know he's been definitely putting in work. So and he looks fantastic too. He looks good. He's chiseled up. But I think Diakiese's gonna outstrike him. Better everywhere it goes. I think he's got better cardio as well. Being what's the ages on these guys? I didn't even write them down, so I don't know. But there you have that. I'm gonna parlay the favorites on this, all 4 favorites together, and I'm gonna hedge bet Charles Johnson. So gather the info. Place your bets, cash those tickets. Tickets. That's Nora's thing. She loves to say tickets. Fill the comments with who you think is going to win these fights. I appreciate you watching. I apologize for the chalky odds. There's nothing I can do about it. So it's kind of like all the full capper consensus ones are chalky. So yeah. And when you see a big minus numbers like that, that means chalky. So, but fill the comments, especially if you're taking an underdog. I love that crap. I love that. I want to hear what you have to say about it. And good luck on your bets. I will definitely see you tomorrow getting into the main card. Okay? Have a good night. See you then. Bye.